Obviously, by the name, this is the fourth time that I've done this. On nichepursuits.com, I like to share what's working for me, and the best way to do that I've found is to do what I call a public project, where I basically start from the very beginning and say, okay, I'm going to be building a niche site. I'm going to be sharing everything publicly. That goes for, researching what niche I'm going into, keyword research, how I'm building the website, what plugins I'm using, how I'm doing the content, link building, everything. And so that's what I've done with this niche site project 4. I started in September of last year, 2018. Yeah, I'll let people read all the details, but essentially, yeah, I started then, found my niche. I'm essentially outsourcing everything because I'm so busy. And I've been very clear that if people want to build a site cheaper than I'm building, if they're able to write the content themselves, it's not going to cost as much money. But I've hired writers. I've outsourced really everything on the project. I am just the mastermind behind it, doing the keyword research. And once I get the plan in place, I've got people sort of fulfilling that. And so I built it, and it took I made some commissions, and I think December was the first time I actually had earnings. So September, October, November, almost 4 months old. And then when it hit just a little over 6 months, 6 to 7 months old, it started earning and growing much more consistently. I should probably pull up my numbers, but it was something like, $150 in, after it was 6 months, and then it's grown consistently and peaked at about a month ago at just over $1,300 in August of 2019, about $1,300, had a small dip to like $1,100 in September. And I think that's, partially seasonal, partially for other reasons that I gave. But the site's doing really well. It's grown. I expect it to grow significantly in the next 6 to 12 months. And I've laid it all out publicly. And since it is public, I've revealed the domain at this point. It's owntheyard.com, where I cover basically everything that's happening in people's backyards. It could be backyard gardening, backyard games, backyard gear. And so that's kind of the niche that I'm in, and the site if people want to check it out.
Cool. And I think, one of your first public case studies is one that I followed, and I learned a ton. So highly encourage people to definitely check it out. I get questions all the time, like, what should a site look like? What should I do for a particular review, and so on? Like, what should a table look like? All those details, like, you can go dig in and follow like what Spencer's done from the very beginning. So everyone check that out. And by the way, there are spreadsheets. I was just studying before we started the call. So like every month it's broken down, like what the income's from, where the expenses are going each month, so you could track it along the way. And right now, are you ROI positive, or are you still catching up right now?
So still catching up right now. Yep. Because I've outsourced everything. I've invested several thousand, between $15,000 and $20,000, in the year. The site has like 180 articles. That's where the bulk of the investment has come from, is all the writers there. So I've spent more than I've earned at this point, but I'm catching up. And if I were to stop investing so heavily, instead of doing 15 to 20 articles every month, if I just scaled that back to 3 or 4, I would be, making up like $1,000 every month pretty quickly.
Yeah, definitely. And
Yep.
I think it's key. I'm doing a similar case study, except I bought an existing site that was already 6 months old. So like the growth maybe is a little bit quicker, but yeah, I have this, with the audience, there's the same sort of objections. If we don't have $15,000, like, what can we do? And there's a variety of things, and you've covered that in other like case studies and examples. So, I mean,
Right.
People shouldn't think that it has to cost that much. You could definitely DIY a ton of it.